Oh, hello. Hello, hello, my beloved devotees. How are you, my loves? I've missed you. It's been about a week since I've seen you on See Like Sheba, so welcome back. I know you guys are like, we don't know how to process what's going on in the world because we haven't been able to see it through your eyes, Sheba. Please help us make sense of what we're, seeing right now. And I will. No worries. Um, I had I was on hot mic today with my beloved husband, Billy, and that was a really great episode. I also it's been a couple days since I've done an episode. I was doing a go on every day daily devotional for myself, and I was going to see how long I did it. And I did it for 3 weeks, 21 days. I did 21 episodes of it. I love that. And so, yeah, I think I want to do that like whenever I want to, like, I don't know, whenever the spirit needs to move a bunch of stuff through me, or just needs me to, come. It just needs me to be present and appear and show up. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, just show up and let whatever wants to come through come through. Um, yeah, so I'll give myself that space. I'll devote that space to myself every day. But I really enjoyed going on like regularly, and in the past week, I've gotten a lot of messages that are about, yeah, like my one of my gifts, one of my powers is to talk and to uh, share what I see. So maybe to see and to talk. And I'm really good at those things. And so I just want to give myself more and more opportunities to do that because I know that is in part what I'm here to do. So this episode I want to call something about sirens. I'm I heard a lot of things, particularly today, about the siren energy, and I'm totally that. And I want you guys to like come along with me and see what I mean. Um, I'm your host Sheba. Obviously, wouldn't that be weird if I had a show called See Like Sheba and I'm like, Sheba is a girl I used to know. And on some level, she is a girl that I used to know. And now she's a woman who, you know, built upon that girl. And yeah, so girl's still in there. But yeah, now the woman is here. She's activated. She's a siren now. The story is just beginning. Can't wait to see how it goes. Okay, so um, let me pull up definition of siren for those of us who want a little refresher. Okay, so let me do this one. Yes. Okay. So a siren in classical mythology is one of several sea nymphs, part woman and part bird. Part bird? Maybe it means fish, but I don't know. I love being like a sea nymph who is also part bird and part human, um, who lures mariners to destruction by their seductive singing. Mm. This is from the book The Odyssey, and Odysseus is trying to get to some island, and there are these sirens, and I think someone told him about the sirens, because he was like, "Oh yeah, when they start singing, they're gonna make you kill yourself, so plug your ears." And of course, most of the men don't do that because even though men are excellent followers, they do not know how to listen, and so anyway, they most of the men do not do that, and they are just so taken in with the songs that, like, I don't know, they crash their boat or they some other way meet their demise. And Odysseus doesn't, so he goes on about his merry way. um okay, so another definition of siren, outside of literature, is a seductively beautiful or charming woman, especially one who beguiles men. Ooh, I love that word. What is beguile? Let's see that. Okay, beguile means to charm or enchant someone, sometimes in a deceptive way, and also help the time pass pleasantly. Like we had a beguiling time together. That means we had a pleasant time together. We passed the time pleasantly together. I love that. That is so me. To charm or enchant someone, sometimes in a deceptive way. Yep, totally. And a seductively beautiful or charming woman, especially one who beguiles men. Yes, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna leave these up for myself, but I will bring you back to my beautiful face. Okay, yeah. So I've been seeing like a lot of stuff about like I've kind of activated this siren energy in myself, and it's both a voice activation, a throat chakra activation, and a root activation. I don't know a lot about the chakras. I still want to spend some time like getting with that, but like I think it has to do with kundalini energy, which I also don't know anything about. But um I want to say it's about our ability to create. It's about our like sexual energy. It's about our power and our creative force. And yeah, I feel like being a siren just like combines those things. And yeah, I really think a big part of my purpose is to use my enchanting voice to lure weak men to their doom. It's like when I was talking about Hanoi Hannah, go home, GI. That's me. But yeah, I'm just gonna use my voice in order to like, and I'm so beautiful and I'm so charming. And like, yeah, weak men don't realize until they're like in my trap. um, but okay, so another thing, I'm gonna share with you guys some other things that have been coming to me in this past week. Okay. Um, I take a lot of baths. I've always been not always actually, but in my adult life, I've increasingly become a bath person. I just love lounging in a beautiful bathtub and just having water on me. And I was thinking about like how I've just really been going through a lot of activations and initiations and evolutions and quantum leaps. And I think in part it's been because I've been so intentional about taking baths and just submerging myself in water. And I'll bless the water first because as the magician, as the magic, everything I do is the ritual. Everything I do is the magic spell. So I find myself taking a lot of baths. And so I bless the water. I like enchant the water and then I get in it, and whatever incantation I put on the water, now, I'm soaked in and it's, in my skin, and I'm sure it's like absorbed in me somehow. I don't really understand how skin works or water works, but I do that to the water I drink also. But yeah, I was thinking like I'm like those what are those called? Things you put in water and they expand. It doesn't matter actually. I don't care about that one. But like it's those things. Ooh, it's not shrinky dinks, right? I don't know. It's like you put it into water and it like grows into a big thing. Sea monkeys? I think there's another thing, but that's like me. I've been putting myself in water so much that it's just been opening me up. It's been expanding me. I've been like getting bigger, and it's been awesome. Mm, I love it. And I did like sometimes I'll take like super duper hot ones, and I'll be like, it like makes you a little dizzy, and I'll have to like remember to like move slow and to breathe and to like lie down and to just kind of wait until I'm a little bit more back in control, until I'm a little bit more. But like while I'm in that state, I feel just so open and like just a very clear vessel. and I feel like at the mercy of the divine, and it's just really beautiful. But yeah, so I've been like taking all these baths, and I've just been like expanding with water. Love that. Which is also very siren energy. I feel like, I'm just a sea nymph. Um, so expand with water. Mm, right. Okay. So water, these are things that are like necessary for life. Okay. As far as I understand it, water, death, which by death, I mean also like release, separation, um, a disconnection from like the whole, a separation from the whole. Uh, oh, okay. So, yes, keep all that in mind that I just said. I've also been thinking about um, lots of, mythology, including Egyptian mythology, and the goddess Isis has been coming to me. One time when I was a kid, we in like, I want to say I was in like fifth grade or something, but no, I was younger than that because I was at the owl school, so I must have been in like third or fourth grade. Um, but we put on the play Aida, and I played the goddess Isis. And I remember it was like a small part, but I remember just being like, I never felt more like beautiful and like myself than when I was like, ooh, this like goddess. I don't even remember what the play's about, but um, okay, so let's bring up Isis, learn a little bit about her. Um, okay, so, ooh, can you guys see that? Let's see what large looks like. Yeah, that's a little better. Um, okay, so Isis was one of the major goddesses in ancient Egypt. She's like, right up there with like Osiris. And they, in fact, are, she's a main character in the Osiris myth in which she resurrects Osiris, her slain brother and husband, the divine king Osiris, and produces and protects his heir. She was believed to help the dead enter the afterlife as she helped Osiris, and she was considered to be the divine mother of the pharaoh. Uh, so yeah, first of all, about she's like the counterpart with Osiris. I always think about like me and Billy as like a god and goddess, and we're lovers and husband and wife, but we're also like brother and sister, but not in a weird way, in like a divine way, in the way that like we're goddesses, we're gods and goddesses, we're divine, so we can't just be, having sex with anybody. We can't be just like relating using the power of our voice, the power of our relation, the power of our all of our different powers with some regular dude, with some regular woman, with a human woman. It would explode their dick. It would like their their pelvis would explode. Their puny, weak human brains would not be able to handle being in relationship with a goddess. So, you know, she would have to get with her brother. She'd have to get with the same age other divine being. You don't want to get her to get with like her father or like her uncle. Ew, creepy. But like her brother that she grew up with, just playmates, being gods, learning to be gods amongst humans together. Match made in heaven. um, but yeah, okay. So Billy doesn't like Billy gets uncomfortable when I talk about that, but I love my brother husband. um okay, so let me go down here. Okay, because there's another little part that I think is interesting. Okay, so in the Osiris myth, there's like four siblings who are the children of the god of earth and the goddess of the sky, which I also love, which also feels like me and Billy. If you know, you know. We'll talk about that more later, but or at another thing. But anyway, okay. The god of earth and goddess of the sky have 4 children. One is Osiris, one is Isis, one is Set, and the other is what's that girl's name? Neph Nephith, Nephthys, Nephiths. I don't know. But anywho, okay. So Set, the brother, is like jealous, whatever. For whatever reason, he kills Osiris, and Isis and their sister, who we're gonna call Nettie because I can't pronounce it. Isis and Nettie, they go and okay, so Set kills Osiris and he like scatters his body all over the world. Okay. So the sisters are like really sad and they grieve, but they also go around the world and they gather up all the body parts. And so then it says Isis and Nettie, their love and grief for, where is it? Let me highlight this. Okay. Isis and Nettie's love and grief for their brother help restore him to life, as does Isis's recitation of magic spells. Funerary texts contain speeches by Isis in which she expresses her sorrow at Osiris's death, her sexual desire for him, weird time. No, love that though, and even anger she has that he has left him, that he has left her. All these emotions play a part in his revival, as they are meant to stir him into action. Finally, Isis restores breath and life to Osiris's body and copulates with him and conceiving their son. Okay, but the important part, I think, is that, she goes across, the world, asks the help of other deities to gather these scattered pieces of her beloved husband brother, and they gather it, and then they their love and grief help restore him to life, as does her recitation of magic spells, and like in these spells, in these rites, she expresses grief, desire, and anger, which I think are things that like we in this culture are taught to be super ashamed of and to be really uncomfortable with and to speed through. Like we think of grief as kind of something that is frivolous. It's like something that like we have the luxury of having. And when someone dies in your family, if you don't have leave from your work, if you don't have sick leave, or like you just have to like come back to work. And even if you do have leave, there's this kind of idea that it's like, yeah, you got to come back to work though, like immediately, as quickly as you can. And we're seeing the Israelis, they're like trying to take away everyone else's right to grieve. Like the natural thing is to grieve the horrific stuff that we're seeing. And they intentionally, withhold Palestinian people's bodies. They desecrate their graveyards. They desecrate the bodies so that, Palestinians can't grieve. They also keep, shock and awing them and just shocking them with how depraved the Israelis are. It prevents the Palestinians from being able to grieve properly, which is necessary for resurrection. Okay, so we have to grieve. We have to own our passion, own our desire. So she owns her sexual desire for him. She's like, I miss like my one god brother who I could take to Pound Town. I wonder what the like ancient Egyptian equivalent of like Pound Town was. Anyway, yeah, so you know, grief is necessary, our desire, our passion is necessary, and our anger is necessary. All of these like feelings that we're taught to shame, that we're taught to like you know, not explore, that is like necessary to face, to work with, in order to create life, in order to transform, in order to like make this transition from life to death to the afterlife, which is more life. So it's kind of like a circle or a spiral or whatever you want to think of it. Okay. So yeah, let me come back to full screen. But yeah, okay. So I wrote down transformation requires lots of things. Isis is considered the goddess of many things, divine feminine power, and also transformation and resurrection, you know? And so this came to me. I think transformation requires time. It requires rest, energy, sleep. So I put energy in the middle of that, rest or sleep, in order for you to gain energy. You know, we're taught to think of energy as this, as rest and sleep as this passive, wasteful, useless thing. You know, it's like the antithesis of like productivity, and like, you can't sleep, you got to work. And so we have this shame around sleep and rest and being still. But these are necessary things for transformation. So it requires time, it requires going slow, it requires stillness, rest, sleep. All these things are so that you can be more receptive to receiving the magic. All right. Oh yeah, because another thing that she was talking about, so she uses grief, anger, passion, desire, and magic. She recites magic things. So she uses the power of words, harnessing magic with the power of her words and her emotions. Oof, I love it. Okay. Transformation also requires, because it requires this time, this rest, this slowness, this stillness, it requires patience. It requires passion. It requires hope. You have to be able to see it and believe it before it's here in the 3D. If Isis didn't have the hope that her husband, she could bring her husband back to life, she wouldn't have gone through the trouble of going to find all his scattered body parts, putting him back together, feeling all of her difficult emotions, and, you know, eventually being successful. She had to hope. Part of hope, I think, is surrender. It's not all, if you are constantly doing, if you're constantly producing, if you're constantly acting, then you don't really have hope. You're trying to do it all yourself. So you need surrender. And like, I think surrender is a really powerful thing. We're taught to think of it as feminine and weak in that sense, but you know, there's something about hoping and surrendering and trusting that you've done enough. You have done the creation. Your desire is evidence that your creation is already there. So your hope just gets you through, helps you pass the time that transformation takes. Okay, so another thing that transformation requires is paradox and your ability to hold the paradox. And so transformation, it requires light, it requires death in order to have life. Light and shadow, it requires like, in order for there to be life as we know it, like, things have to die. Rotting, death, separation is an integral part of life, because from that separate stuff, it comes back together again. Death separates us, and then it's pulled back together. The scattered parts are pulled back together, and we grieve, we express our desires, we what's the other thing we do? We express our anger, which is also passion. And we use the power of our words. We recite some magic spells, some incantations. We invoke the power of the divine. Um, and then we create life. We create a beautiful new thing. Um, so I think, to bring this back to what we were talking about in the beginning, I think part of my purpose, as a siren, not just like luring bad men. I am here to lure weak, bad men, bad people to their doom, to their death. Uh, and I'm supposed to like trigger people to this death, this evolution, this transformation. And then, as we're waiting for the transformation process to unfold, I am supposed to beguile. I'm supposed to help us pass the time pleasantly. So that's what a siren does, beguiling people. And beguiling is being charming, sometimes deceptive, but also, yeah, beguiling is to pass the time pleasantly. And I think that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to, like, we are going to be free. We are going to step into our power. We are going to create this new world. You see it all crumbling now. It's very messy. We're in this cocoon phase where everything is breaking down. It's separating. It's dying. I am very grateful that I helped trigger that process. I helped lure these weak men into this process of into their doom, into this demise. And then I'm going to help us pass the time pleasantly as transformation occurs, because it takes time. And so I'm here to help you pass it pleasantly, because we have this fear that it's like going to be so scary and, oh, death, we got to avoid it at all costs. But like, if we avoid it, we're not going to find the afterlife. We're not going to find the beautiful new world that comes on the other side of it. If we're like, oh, it's taken too long, my manifestations are taking too long, we might give up too early before it's cooked. So, if you know me, I'm so fun to hang out with. I'm great on a road trip. I'm great just in everyday life. I'm great at like just seeing the beauty in things, seeing the beautiful lesson in things. And so, what better person to come and help you pass the time pleasantly as we transform into this beautiful new world, into this beautiful utopia that I know exists, and you know it too, I think. All right. I hear Billy making us delicious dinner. I think he's making us burgers for dinner. I'm so excited. So yeah, maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what wants to move through me and how I feel. But I'm going to be taking this week off from work. And I'm going to be really getting real delusional, really embodying my my next evolution. My queen of Sheba, my siren, my like projector powered lifestyle. So I'm gonna be doing that next week. Can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. I'll talk about it later. Okay, bring your forehead up to the screen. I love you. This is all made up. Fuck Israel. Fuck America. Fuck ICE. Death to the IDF. Free Palestine. This is all made up. Any other oh my God, look at my nails. Look at these. Wow. These are My nail girl is so amazing. I love Lily. She's so talented. Look at these. Okay, they're 3D. I don't know if you can tell. We've we've got all these fruits and they're like kind of they're sliced fruits. So I want to say these are like kind of hard to show. These are, what are those called? Dragon fruits, I think. We've got some grapes. We've got, oh, this passion fruit. That is, or is that a papaya? I don't know, but it's so good. This banana, look at this banana peel. Oh my Lord. And the strawberry, obsessed. Obsessed. And then on this hand, we've got a whole different ones too. Okay, so we've got a lemon. We've got this apple. I love this apple too. Oh my gosh. Also, it kind of looks like an owl. Okay, orange, so juicy. A watermelon, of course. Yes. And then, yeah. Yeah. So the seeds have been planted, my love. We are going to be eating the fruits of our labor. We've done it, babes. We've planted the seeds. We've germinated. We've blossomed. And now we're eating the fruits. Mm. And if, you don't see it now, you'll see. Like Sheba. So cute, Sheeps. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you later. Maybe tomorrow. Billy's doing a How Billy Sees It tomorrow. Tune in and catch the last one because it was so good. Yeah. I'll see you soon, okay? I love you. Bye.